Do. Let's see if it's working. Yay, it's showing that it's live. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today on OreAni for our 2021 fall lineup, or as Pixiv calls it, autumn. I just learned that today. Um, Joining us today, we got our group of friends, as always, with an extra joining us today. Give me a second. I'm got butterfingers here. Boop. With always, there's me. Hi, Tinkin. We got Vinny with us as well today.
Thank you for having me.
We have Jessica,
Hello.
as always. We got Pikachu, Sean,
Pika pika.
and joining us as our guest speaker is Groovy.
Howdy.
Thank you for joining us, Groovy.
Thanks for having me.
Wait, is Iron Art commenting? He's actually watching this video. It's crazy. So today we're going to just go down the list of the anime shows that are in, I guess, alphabetical order, which I think I actually messed up. Because I don't see how Blue Period got to the top of the list. I must have copy and pasted it incorrectly. But the first show on the list that any of us have seen is 86. Ooh. So this is 86 part 2. So I don't know why they didn't just call it the second season. I guess they just wanted to continue off from the first core. And even
I don't know why they don't call it 87.
Oh.
because they're gone. Have you seen any of part of 86 or know about it, Sean?
I know it was a show that people talked about, and it's like vaguely recommended. I think it was kind of compared to Code Geass in the sense that you had the suppressed or the oppressed 11s or something,
Yeah,
and there's
so
some sort of drone war. I don't know. I only know this show secondhand.
yeah, so that's why it's called 86, because the people that are being oppressed are the 86s. So I guess the regions would split up, and the people in that district 86 were considered not human by I guess
The
maybe
Alba.
the Albas, right? So I actually rewatched 86 to go into the new season, and I realized I missed a lot of information, or I just wasn't paying attention. But supposedly the whole thing is like this federation created these drones to try to start war and take over, but in a mishap, like kind of like Skynet, it turned on its masters and started attacking them and destroyed the whole republic or whatever they called it. And now they're going and spreading and destroying everything else. So that's how we're into the region where the Albas are, and they're fending off the drones using the 86s, which they don't even classify as human. And the whole thing is that they believe that these drones, since they're autonomous, that they only have a certain amount of uh, battery life, that they can only operate for so much time, that if they are able to survive past that time, that hopefully they'll just die off, and then that's the end of the war. So the second season picks off straight away right after the last episode we saw from spring, and we're given a really big surprise. I actually didn't expect it. So big spoilers if you plan to watch it. Um, the group of people went in, and the 86s that went to basically to go sacrifice themselves uh, to basically die where they felt that they can be themselves and be free for that last moment and just die with dignity, that they're dying by their own choice, not what the Albus chose for them. And then we finally realized that they didn't die, that they were somehow saved. And it's because of radio communications being blocked by the drones. I guess no one knew that other areas were still functioning, and this area was that saved them is still alive, and that they're they're also fighting the drones. And it's really strange because they hate the other people, the Albas, for how they're treating the 86s like they're not humans, and feel that because they're treating these children as just weapons and not even giving them, rights or anything, that they should they're like totally against it, and they're like protesting and like, how could they treat these people? We need to give them everything we can, give them a future. And it's so weird how it's kind of overdone in a way that it's like almost as if they pity them, and it's really hard on them because they're like, these guys are no different from the other group because they don't see us as us. They see us as these 86s that need to be pitied and held their hand and protected and stuff. And they're like, no, we're not that. So, and eventually, it picks off with them trying to live a normal life given to them by this new area that they're at. And, but they find that they're somewhat uneasy with this new life, this new freedom, and actually want to go back into fighting. And for some reason, that republic is like, no, we can't have you fighting your children. You guys shouldn't be fighting anymore. And they're like, but we want to fight. This is us. This is. So it has this really strange conflict with all that going on. And it did show a little bit of how the Alba are now going on, but that was like only in the first episode, so we don't even know what's going on that side anymore, and it's always staying on with the 86s and their new life. And we're also met with a new character, which for some odd reason everyone finds super cute in our anime watch. Everyone's like, oh my gosh.
No. No.
I can't believe it. I find her a little annoying, but it's just. How do you feel about her, Jessica, with that? No.
She's really annoying. The group knows, though, that my tolerance for children is at an all-time low normally, and this kid just, oh, I can't stand her.
What was the name of the kid?
I don't know.
Give me a second. Let me pull
I
it
just
up.
call her annoying brat in my head.
I think it's
but-
Federica or something like that.
Augusta
Frederica?
Adler.
Frederica, yeah.
Augusta Federica Adele Adler.
Yes,
Is that who
her.
he's talking about?
Yeah,
Sounds like it.
yeah. So she's got
Not
that.
So
fan.
from the image,
Yeah, for some odd reason, everyone's like, "Oh my god, she's so cute! Ah, look at her and everything" in our group, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh."
he looks better in the manga, in my opinion. But I do remember her being quite the annoying one. So I'm on team annoying.
She does have a few funny moments, but overall, just she's just kind of, I don't know. But she's used as a, I guess they call her a mascot or
Yeah.
something weird in the battles where she joins a squadron and she becomes the little sister of that squadron so that everyone can feel some kind of hope and want to protect her so that they'll fight, have more of a um, fighting reason, I guess. I don't know. It's just weird how they have her in there. And she decided
Yeah,
to join them.
even the synopsis is like uh Federica Rosenfort is the mascot of Nordlich's squadron and the last empress of the former Gideon Empire. She has the ability to see the past and present of a person known to her. So even the synopsis on her is like, yeah, she's the mascot.
Hey, Albert, welcome. So yeah, so she's really strange, and the Gideon Empire is the empire that made the drones, and there was a tense scene that they were trying to play off with her, like I'm the empress of the country that created all these, and don't you hate me because did this, and everyone's like, come on, you're just a little kid. You, there's no way you had anything to do with that. But it was overall, it's a really good show, and I really want to see how it plays out. But I'm kind of starting to get more um, antsy about knowing what's going on the other side with the Albas, though.
Mm-hmm.
So how's it been for you, Jessica, throughout the whole thing?
It's been pretty good. I do confess I was a bit taken aback by the revelation in the first episode. And I kind of have a soft spot for tragic endings, and so I really liked the ending where, everybody dies. Um, so it was a bit of whiplash to see that no, they're actually okay, and I was just really that seems a little improbable, but okay, whatever. Um, but yeah, I'm kind of anxious to see what's happening behind the silver curtain, as it were, because oh crap, I can't remember her name. The main character that was the handler for all the 86s last season.
Oh, what was her name?
Yeah, she really matured and kind of came into her own as a military leader, and I liked that part of her character arc. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I was actually kind of a little confused with her new look because I was like, when did that? Because she's like has this new red hair or something like that, or
I think she dyed it to sort of show her support for the 86s. Um, that's the way I interpreted it anyway. Because the Albas pride themselves on their hair and whatnot, so her doing that kind of is like a giving the finger to the status quo.
ooh,
Yeah. But I do like the series. I'm definitely going to continue watching it. And I hope it maintains its quality of presentation and story, because the way it handles its themes of racism is pretty dang good. It's probably one of the better anime to tackle that particular theme in the way that it handles it.
hmm and the music is wonderful,
Mm-hmm.
very well put. But they still do this awkward thing with the title card, I think, where they just put it like in the middle of the show in some weird random place. Or I should say, yeah, it is the title card, right? Like you'll be watching 10 minutes in and then
Yeah,
it'll be like, here's the title of what we're watching.
it could be 3/4 of the way through the episode and then it'll throw up the title card. So you know how some shows you get the title card at the very end? This doesn't do that. It's at any point in the episode you could get the title card, which is just weird.
And even sometimes the ending, they'll like put the ending maybe further in and leave like another 5 to 7 minutes at the end, the ending, to add some other stuff, which is really weird. How much time they had. But yeah, I highly recommended this show because it has plenty of action, it has plenty of depth, and also character development. So I think it's really well written, and it is based off of a light novel, so they at least got a good source. Surprisingly, that's not an isekai light novel. Next up is He. No, is it Heike
Okay.
Monogatari? Heike Monogatari. I see this on Funimation a lot. This red picture.
This is really good, really really good. Have So I guess I should probably explain what the Heike Monogatari is. It is a story written around the 14th century about two warring clans in the Heian period, namely the Taira and the Minamoto clan, I think it is, and all of their political machinations and whatnot. It's basically one of the pillars of Japanese classical literature. I have not read it. I want to, but it's right up there with Tale of Genji and the Hyakunin Ishu in terms of how much it's permeated the Japanese literary world. So, the anime is a story about a young girl who dresses as a boy, and she is a biwa player. And she gets sort of adopted by the one of the Taira clan members who is responsible for the death of her father. This one started, I think, late September or something, so it's actually pretty far along in terms of episode count. I am not caught up with it at all, but I certainly intend to continue watching it because it's just that good. The character designs are interesting. They're definitely the thing about the show that stands out the most is they're very unconventional, but I think you need to stick with it because the music, the artwork, and the story all point to this being probably anime of the season in terms of quality.
Oh,
So,
Interesting.
yeah, please do give it a watch. You owe it to yourself to see this.
I just now saw the studio, Science Saru. They're the ones that made the Ride Your Wave movie.
Yeah, so this the director is Naoko Yamada, who did Koe no Katachi. I always forget the English name of that movie. But she's a KyoAni person, so this is like KyoAni's best director coming to Science Saru. Like she's a freelancer now; she's no longer at KyoAni, and so that's an interesting combo, right? Like Yuasa's studio with Naoko Yamada, just screams quality. And I've only seen 2 episodes, but it is quality. So yeah, I'm gonna watch it to the end. I think I have a slight fascination with the Heian period because that is like really ancient Japan. It's like the period that sort of defined Japanese culture. It's like when Buddhism really started to take root, and you had this like nobility, this noble class that created like all this artwork and culture and stuff.
Mm-hmm. It's
So
probably one
yeah,
of my favorite time periods of Japan too.
I think I've only seen like 3 depictions of it in anime personally, and the movie called The Tale of Genji, from like maybe '86. It's a Gisaburo Sugi movie. So that's Heike Monogatari reminds me of that one quite a lot. Just except that movie is like even stranger presentationally, it's very ethereal, and sort of lots of things like slip into dreams and then into reality and into dreams into reality. Um, but that was based on the tale of Genji, of course, and Heike Monogatari is like a story that takes place in roughly the same period, the Heian period, but at the end of the Heian period. That's kind of all I can say about it. Like I like it a lot. The character designs are weird. They're kind of, but they're not ugly or anything. They're not like unapproachable. They're pretty cute, and they kind of have that like geometric look that reminds me of that other anime, Uchoten Kazoku, the Eccentric Family.
Yeah, a little bit, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about like classy Kyoto, classy anime set in Kyoto, and like that kind of character design, but whatever. Like I hope it doesn't fall apart.
I hope not either. It has such great potential.
Yeah, because I have more trust in Kyoto Animation, like making a TV show that doesn't fall apart in the animation department. I have less trust in Science Saru, but we'll see how it goes.
I might have to check it out. Interesting. All right. Thank you for that. Next up is what, an isekai show? Isekai Shokuro 2? Is this the diner, right? In another world?
Yep, that's the one.
Yeah. It's Restaurant to Another World.
Yep.
Nice. So is it I didn't watch the first season much, but is it just still following the same format, or was there actual story throughout the whole thing that ties everything together?
There is some semblance of a loose overall storyline that kind of ties things up, but it's a mostly episodic affair, basically.
Yeah, it's
New episode features new members dropping by, and they're blown away by these cuisines that's unheard of, quality, presentation, etc., etc. And the
Oh.
second, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna add on to, like, I'll give it this. They definitely have a wide variety of characters for each episode, and each episode is kind of like will rerun the characters as well, and it's a fun show to watch, especially when you get to meet some of the characters again, who have hopped in to get something to eat, and then they come again and they try something else, and they're blown away again by the food. But it's just mostly a cuisine thing, episodic, like how he said.
Yeah, it's not really thinker type, but go ahead.
Can you remind me what the premise is? Like, who's going to which world to eat what food?
So the people from different world is coming to Earth, well, Japan, present-day Japan, on every Saturday to eat the cuisines made by this Western-style restaurant in Japan.
Okay.
And the restaurant owner is second generation. His grandfather is the one who originally ran the restaurant, and his grandson took over after his grandfather retired. And this has been going on every Saturday for quite some time. And as for the logic behind where the portals to this restaurant opens up, nobody knows. It just happens in random basis. And those who make an accidental discovery drops by, have a meal. They like it so much, they make a habit of trying to come here every 7 day. So normally from Monday through Sunday, Sunday through Friday, it's just normal restaurant for any other regular people. But Saturday only, they close down the door outside, but they only open the door for the inside, where this traveler from different world comes in to have this meal. That's a
I
premise.
want a portal to a Japanese restaurant. Why can't I have?
Well, there's a little bit like of making fun of its restaurant itself because even though they call themselves a Western restaurant, but they do serve things like rice and rice bowls, things that has really nothing to do with Western cuisine. And so there's a little bit of bantering in the season one where the grandson, who is the current restaurant owner slash chef, is asking his grandfather about how can we call ourselves a Western restaurant when we are serving like pork soups and rice and stuff. And his grandfather's response is basically anything that traveled into Japan is considered Western restaurant. Let's call it at that. A very loose term, and it has pretty much a cliche westernized Japanese cuisine, omelette rice. This whole episode about that,
Mhm.
and so on and
Yeah.
so forth. And although in terms of curry, they started from the regular Japanese style curry and then kind of ventured into the more of a actual curry that's Indian style
Yep.
curry, southeast Eastern curry. Those things kind of comes along, so which is a nice touch. Um, Major change with the second season is that they switched the animation company. First season was done by Silverlink. Second season is being done by Oriental Light and Magic.
Hmm.
It quality is mostly okay, but whenever there's a scene that involves the kitchen area, you can definitely see the quality drop down considerably. Whereas the first season, all the meals comes up very sparkly. Even the most mundane meals looks fantastic in presentation. Second season is lacking in some of that regards. Character looks alright, but that's pretty much all I have for now. So for those who likes to just see like a lighthearted shows about food, this is pretty much good one to watch. Don't have to think too much about it. Just watch and enjoy all those interesting characters enjoying the meal.
So I know it's not too important, but it's always been bugging me. It's like, how do they get? How do they accept payment? Is it,
Oh,
or do
they
they?
accept. They pay the coins from the other worlds, whatever currency they have. They kind of like a gold, silver, and the bronze coins. And what happened is that the restaurant owner collects the fare. Basically, he just loses the conversion. I think it comes on a bronze coin is about equates about $1 or 100 yen. So most of the meal comes out somewhere between like $10 to $15 top. At the end of the month, there is a food supplier from the other world who drops by to have a meal. He exchanges all those coins that he gathered on every Saturday and with some of the food supplies that cannot be found in Japan.
I see. I
So
see.
he make an exchange for it.
That's cool. So
Mhm.
my only other question would be: would you classify this as maybe a healing anime, or is it just a slice of life kind of like?
Slice of life, bit of healing. I mean, it's a pleasant Toronto. There's really nothing bad or tragic or anything going on.
I I agree. It's more of a healing slice of life. Uh, in my opinion, though, I guess it would be more healing because it just I don't know. Looking at the food from the first season was just so gratifying, just to like see the final product and then see like all these characters who've probably never heard of omurice before, and then just take a bite and like just not don't it doesn't get orgasmic like Food Wars, but it does. They do like they have a really happy face on it, and it's like healing, you know.
Nice. So what about you, Albert? How would you compare it to MES cooking?
Compared to Emiya-san, it's different. I mean, Emiya-san has much more of a slice of life feel to it. Despite being Fate, probably the probably the best Fate series. But this one is a little bit more. Uh, it focuses more on the people coming to the restaurant and a very brief backstory of them, and them enjoying this time at the restaurant away from their everyday worries and concerns. And this is, yeah, it would be ESK because it's that is what they get out of coming to this restaurant, something that they can't get in their everyday life. So, and you don't really need to watch season one if you want to just drop in. Um, it's it is more of an anthology style. If you want to go back and watch season one, you can, but I don't think it's strictly necessary. You'll get the gist in like an episode.
All right. Thank you. Moving on to the next title, which is Kaginado, which is like the chibi key anime short thing. I literally just watched it before this hangout because each episode is only 4 minutes long, and there's only 2 of them out right now. And the first episode was just introducing all of the characters that we've seen through Air, Clanad, Planetarium. What was the other shows? Little Busters, Canon. I don't think I saw anything from Angel Beats yet. I don't know if they have that, but they got all those characters. And one of the biggest questions I had when watching this was, who is going to voice Misuzu? Because Misuzu is one of my favorite characters in the Key universe, I guess, because of her laugh. She had this really cute laugh. I always loved it. And her voice actor actually died. So I was wondering if they were going to use just sound clips or if they're going to introduce a whole new character. And I'm going to look into that later on and maybe tell you guys at the end of the season. Let's see how many original voice actors they kept for all the roles, because I think there's a few that sound a little different. But overall, it's just chibi characters doing outrageous things, kind of like the what do you call that? The Isekai Quartet, right? Where they had all these characters together just doing random stuff, but just with key characters. So, not much else to say about it. The first episode would just show them all the characters. Second episode was called Title, explaining the title, because I guess one of the characters is like, this show's all about us because of the name.
You know, I may as well watch some of this. I was saying this before the stream started that I haven't really been paying attention to the season of anime, so a lot of these titles I'm just learning about right now. So yeah, that's funny that they have a key. I don't know if you call it franchise, the key label, comedy, Carnival of Phantasm-y kind of thing. And I've seen at least half of these, Canon, Eric Clanad. Haven't seen Little Busters or Rewrite. But, if they start introducing Angel Beats and Charlotte, I've seen that crap. So,
Yeah.
may as well watch this too.
And I guess because of the end of the title, the Nado, I guess they're making jokes that it's because of Clanad. So that they're like, we're the main protagonists of the show because of the Nado for Clanado. And they're like, no, that means key. So it's a play on words, key. So that was pretty fun to learn and have fun with that and just see all these characters that we've seen over the past, 12 years? Maybe longer if you include the old versions of the remakes.
Yeah.
So, overall,
Also, I got the answer for you about that whole who's going to voice Misuzu Kamyu.
I'd rather save it for later, if you don't mind.
Got it. No worries. I was just wondering before I I said it out loud. I wanted to know if anybody wanted to know or not.
I want to keep the memory of my old Misuzu for now.
You got it.
Which thingy is Misuzu from?
Air.
There's
Air,
Air.
yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, yeah, that's back in the day. I was looking this up. Apparently, the Kyoto Animation TV show of Air was 2005. Long time ago.
Yeah. It's a show that I really loved. A lot of people hated it because of the ending, but you know.
I think I started with Canon. I started there, and then I saw Clannad, and then I went back and watched Air. So I guess like it not being the first one, like it didn't leave a big impression on me. It could be a thing where it's like the first one is the one that you like the most or whatever.
Well, Clannad was actually really well done. So
yeah,
compared to all the others, I think it was probably the first longest key show. Because eventually, I think what was it? Canon eventually became 24 episodes, but it was first aired as a 12-episode series. So
I think Little Busters is longer. Actually, let me go check.
I know.
26. Little Busters, 26 episodes.
But even if you include the second season, because Clannad had the after story and.
Well, no. So that is another 13. Refrain is 13 episodes. There's a side story, I think. I only watched the main story, I think.
Yeah, Clannad I think had 25-episode series plus some extras, I think, for like alternate endings or something like that. Let's go ahead and go to the next title. You guys should just check it out for nostalgia, if anything, if you're a big Key fan.
Yep.
I mean, yeah. Next up is what? Who's watching this stuff still? Demon Slayer? I'm just playing with you, Groupie. So what's this?
This is the movie, right?
Is it the movie?
It's the movie. It's a TV show. That's what I've heard anyway.
Oh yeah, I know what's going on.
Wait,
if anyone's watched the movie, it's just a movie, but in anime form. So.
Oh, I did.
Everyone's watched the movie.
I actually didn't know that. I thought they were actually going to continue on.
They are.
They are.
Well, I meant. Oh, okay.
The movie's TV show.
Yeah, so you'll have to finish the movie arc before it continues on with the further story. But the movie arc's supposed to have been chopped up and had a few extra scenes added to flesh out the things that got missed in the movie. But I'm just skipping over until they get to the actual part I haven't watched after the train arc. So.
Oh,
I'm watching it just to see what things they added and what they cut out, just so I can see what the heck is going on. But it's mostly been it's like really chopped up, really chopped up. So if it's not really much to tell about right now, since it's only like a few episodes in.
Oh, so is it kind of like how they did, what was it, Dragon Ball, where they had that movie, and then they started the new series where I think it continued from telling that movie story again, and then it continued on?
Yeah, it's basically like that. It's gonna happen the same way. They're gonna get this train arc out of the way and then move on to the new story behind what happens after the new arc, basically.
A friend of mine who watches Dragon Ball, I think he told me that when they covered the movie stuff, they reanimated all of it. But this is probably just like we chopped up the movie as is into a TV show.
Yeah. The good thing is, though, they've been saying that it's not going to be the entire series, which is good.
So that at least gives them time to put more effort into the rest of the episodes, I guess, right?
Most definitely.
All right. So that was Demon Slayer. I guess we have to wait until the end
Yeah.
of this season to see if it's worth it or not. If you've seen the movie. Next up is, which actually I think this was one of the highest anticipated shows amongst a lot of my friends, which is Komi-san wa Komisho desu or something like that. Or
Never heard of it.
Komi-san can't communicate. It's based off of a manga that's been around for a long time, and the weird name I think comes from the combination of communicate and Komi's name, because Komi
all
can't
puns.
communicate. So, surprisingly, it's on Netflix now with an episode out right now, just episode 1. And I think there's
Episode 1
been
on
3
Netflix.
episodes released in Japan.
Correct.
Yep.
So surprisingly, they're releasing it one by one instead of the. And I heard some people tell me that's going to maybe become a normal thing rather than wait for the whole season to end and then drop it for the other countries, but we'll see. But actually it looks like a lot of us have seen this.
I think
Indeed.
they dropped down the entire annual animation budget into making this first episode for OL now. OLLM. Because compared to this and the Isekai Shokuro, you can see where they spent so much time and money into it. It's so shiny. Everything's so shiny. I can't believe how good it looked.
Oh my god, the first what was it, like 3 minutes are just so high quality.
Dude, it's outrageous how high quality this is.
And then the scene where they're on the blackboard with the chalk particles falling and everything is just I like how they did this. It's a nice fun.
How much money they put into that scene, but it's
But I find it kind of hard to classify almost, because I for some reason I want to think it's like a rom-com a little bit, but I don't know if it's ever going to get into this a romance thing.
A rom-com.
it's a rom-com.
Well, it doesn't have it listed as rom-com, but it's just comedy, slice of life. We got Tanado, whatever his name is. What was it? Is it?
Tadano.
Tadano Hito.
Yeah, Hito
Yeah.
Hito. And then we have all these eccentric classmates, and they kind of do explain all these classmates, right? Or
Yeah.
why they're all
They
weird.
will. Yeah.
But every single person has its own unique quirk, and I guess Tadano is the most plain person who's our protagonist, and then we got Komi, which is this beautiful, like what they call the Madonna, right, of the school, and everything she does, everyone just absolutely loves, but she never talks. And it's because you find out that she is what do you say, she's super shy, and because of how people see her, she's never had the chance to fully be able to express herself, so she's always been stuck in this moment of just being this quiet girl. And I guess this whole series is trying to get Komi-san to communicate and become friends with the class and maybe some others in school. And
100.
yeah, I don't know if they'll ever get to 100. I know the manga is like almost like over 200 chapters, right?
Yeah, it's
Yep.
like well past 15 volumes.
So,
Well, Paps.
so they got a lot of content to go off of, and it seems to be very popular because it's because of the manga. So I mean, there's not much else to say except for just wait. We gotta wait to watch it. What are you guys' thoughts on this show? Have you guys read the manga or?
Yeah, I read the manga and then decided to watch the TV series. And quality-wise, the first episode anyway, that was well above and beyond my expectation. Not only they made it such a high-quality characters, but all the sound effect that follows Komi, and there's tons of that actually. It faithfully recreates that. It's almost like getting a flashback of a reading manga, but in an animation form. And as you said about the whole choke particles just dropping down as she's writing, that's some. It just only problem is that it can only go down from here. That's how I feel at the end of the first episode, which is regrettable. Anyone else?
Yeah, like you, I read and have been mostly caught up with all the manga, and having watched the first 3 episodes on my end because you know I had to watch all 3 episodes since I know they're out. I couldn't just wait for the Netflix one. Top notch quality. Uh, not as not like the first one with the whole chalks like falling down like snow from episode one, but I would agree that it's it's still very high quality in terms of animation for episodes 2 and 3, and I have a feeling I had that same feeling as well that it can only go down. But so far it's been pretty consistent, and I just hope it stays like this for the rest of the season. I'm gonna follow this to the end.
Yeah, so I've watched the first 2 episodes. I have heard some grumblings about Netflix essentially skipping all the sound effects, not translating it. Which, I mean, I can understand that too, but it it's part of the charm and recreating that in anime format. So you I mean, on the one hand, I can understand, but on the other hand, you kind of need that to really get the full benefit of what's going on in the scene, because that's part of uh, the way she communicates or can't communicate. So the other thing I wanted to mention is I think it's probably on the wiki page, but all the people's names are puns. They're crazy puns. You could go look up what they each mean. Um, but yeah, it's really well animated. They did a good job between their. It's not really chibi, but their comedic forms versus their serious looks, and all of that is recreated very well. And yeah, OLM put most of their effort onto this show versus the others, I think. I mean, that they are they're the studio that does most of the Pokemon series and movies. That's their steady income probably, but yeah, they're doing a really good job with this. So check it out if you like comedy and crazy antics in school, and perhaps in the future some romance. You'll see.
Wait a minute, they did Berserk? That studio? Sorry.
I don't know.
So
OLM, they've been around for a long time.
so with
Well,
the
then, yeah.
with the names and puns, that kind of reminds me of what was it, Zetsubo Sensei, the despair teacher. Those were always fun, learning about how those work. Let's go ahead and move on to the next title, which I have no idea what this is. Let me see here. Let's see if I can say it correctly. If I can find myself. Kyokai Senki? Looks like Albert's the only one watching it. What is this? A mecha anime?
Oh, it is. It's a mecha anime. It's put out by the giant in the community, which is Bandai Sunrise, and I can tell you that it's crap. I personally hated it. I watched the first episode and I realized what they were trying to do, and it infuriated me. So this is a mecha show. It's set in the near future where Japan's declining population and lack of resources has caused them to become a failed state, and they need a bunch of foreign aid to pour into Japan. But with that, comes 4 different international factions that first, is aiding them. Then they start occupying them, and now they have split Japan into. Oh, hold on a second. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. So the 4 international factions start fighting each other in Japan for control over Japan, which makes absolutely no sense, right? You don't go into a country and occupy it because it has nothing to offer. It has to either have some sort of resources that you want, or it's a strategically important point in geopolitics, right? So the setting makes no sense, right? And then now that they're occupied, the Japanese people are treated. There's blatant racism against the Japanese people, being treated as third-class citizens in their own world, right? And being yelled at, being killed, being abused, all kinds of stuff. And so in this world, you have this kid who's an orphan and is attending like online school. In the spare time, he goes around with a group of friends he met online to harvest these mecha parts, because remember, if Japan was used as a battleground for these other factions. So they collect these mecha parts, which strictly speaking are illegal. So he's doing this, and then he gets questioned by some of the, I guess, military police folks, and he has, unbeknownst to any of his friends or anyone else, found this factory up in the mountain that has a incomplete mecha that he's been working on in his spare time, and that's what he's been using the parts for, to try to complete it, right? And then one day he finds, on his way back, finds this little unit, no explanation where it came from, that speaks to him, and it's a super AI saying, hey, I need to be plugged in or I'm gonna die. So he reluctantly powers it up, right? Takes it to his hideout because he doesn't want to get caught with it. Unfortunately, the bad guys, the international police keeping force, has found out about his friends, and they know that he's involved, and they track him down to the factory where they are going to indiscriminately kill his friends if he doesn't give himself up. So he gets into the mecha at the urging of the AI that miraculously plugs in and comes out as a chibi avatar in this super duper high-tech manned mecha system. Everyone else is using drones, right? And he goes out and decides to save his friends by fighting them. And that is episode 1. And I absolutely hated it. And you can probably tell why, because A, it doesn't make sense. The setting, the world, it doesn't make sense. B, it's like some ultra-nationalists paid Bandai and Sunrise money to produce this anime so you can show that, oh, the Japanese people have been downtrodden, but we've got spirit to fight back. Against what? What are you trying to say? Right? There's super mecha, no explanation, but hey, Japan has superior technology, so they can get by. we've got the super duper tech. Don't count us out yet. And it's all about the spirit of the Japanese people. And I just give the whole finger to this whole show. And I do not need to watch episode 2 to know where it's going. So screw you. That is my.
I just watched I watched the trailer just now, and it looks like an ad for a plastic model kit. they
Yeah,
just
it
show
is.
the mecha, and they show the mecha, and they show the mecha, and that's the trailer in stores
Yeah, and
now.
eventually he'll find, other resistant fighters to free Japan. There's at least two other super units that are featured prominently in the ads. None of this makes sense. And the ultra nationalism bullshit, I can't stand it. This is not like Code Geass, where the entire world is under Britain's rule, right? This is just Japan being downtrodden, and we must rise up and fight our oppressors. I hated it.
Yeah, it's funny. You got me thinking about like why would you invade Japan? Because in Code Geass they at least invented Sakuradite. It's like it has this resource that Japan has the most of, and therefore we have to take it over. So it can't.
Yeah, maybe they do later reveal that they've got unobtainium or something, but
Yeah,
so far even the military police are like, I can't believe we're in this crappy nation doing crappy work and having to police these crappy people. So I mean, at least those people don't know why they're even there, right? So yeah,
It's
I've
for
said enough.
it's for all that Hello
Move on.
Kitty merch.
yeah. I mean, Japan's chief export in real life is culture, and that's something that comes from a stable, democratic society. It's the annexing and taking over the country is like not going to get you that. So yeah, it doesn't make any sense. They would have to invent something like Sakuradite to like begin to justify it. And then Code Geass is just like campy and funny, and it's really hard to take Code Geass seriously, which is to its benefit.
Yeah, but they did boost Pizza Hut sales.
Hmm.
Okay, let's go to the next title, which is another thing I have no idea what this is. Kyuketsuki no Sugu Shinu? The vampire dies in no time? Looks like Albert's the only one that's seen this one as well.
Oh my god!
Is this
Okay,
like one of
this
these devil is a part-timer kind of things?
No, it's
Okay.
it's just a series of short skits about this vampire. It's pure comedy, right? A vampire hunter comes into town, and the people are like, "Oh, one of our kids is missing," and they went up to the castle where a vampire lived. So the vampire hunter goes up, and turns out that the vampire is just really afraid of anything, and he'll turn into ash at a drop of a pin. And then that's the comedy. Turns out the kid was there because he likes to play games, and the vampire had games that he was playing. So during the day, when the vampire is asleep, the kid would come up and play video games. But he happened to wanted to clear a level and was late, and that's why the townsfolk freaked out. It's just a series of misunderstandings, and it's a series of skits where the vampire continuously keeps dying because he, dies easily, is afraid of things, and apparently it's all a misunderstanding of why he's believed to be this horrible vampire lord. And that was it. I didn't even get through the first episode. I watched this comedy skit for the first 15 minutes, and I'm like, okay, I'm done. So I can't recommend it at all unless you are really desperate for comedy, gag comedy, and yeah, no, it's horrible.
Okay.
Next.
Next up is... What is this? Meiko-chan?
Mieruko-chan.
Who's watching this? Oh, it looks like Jessica
I'm here.
and Vinny and Albert partially watched it. I see this on Funimation a little
Yeah.
bit, and it kind of got me interested just based on the visual, but I never actually watched it though. So
Yes. So it's based on a manga. It's about this girl that suddenly one day she starts to see things she really don't want to see, like all the ghosts and creatures that you shouldn't be normal people don't see, right? Without some sort of spiritual power, I guess. Um, so being the fall season, being October, I did check it out, and there's there's some problems with it right off the bat because it seems like it's trying to, and I
Mm-hmm.
mean a lot. Like Miruko's best friend at school has huge tracts of land and a very almost see-through white shirt that you can kind of see her breast outlines. Like, okay. And then there's a lot of shots of thighs. There's a shot of her in her pajamas, which are clinging to her skin tight, like it was wet or something, and you can see her panty line. Like like I watched the first episode, and sure, the horror parts are kind of horrifying, but it's not.
Yeah, I have to
Yes,
agree with
definitely.
Albert. Is the horror is very good, and there was one scene in particular where she lifts up her covers and her beds and she sees this gross, disgusting, looks like a little kid with her covers. That scared the shit out of me. Because your bed is the one place in your house that you should be perfectly safe from. But then they sandwich these scary things with all of this just panty shots and thigh shots and oh wait, our main character has boobs, so let's look at those, and long sequences of her putting on her PJs or taking off her PJs and stuff. And it needs to decide what it wants to be. Does it want to be a goofy cheesecake horror, or does it want to really scare the pants off of you? So I want to give it a couple more episodes because someone I was talking to said that the manga does get better in terms of the amount of fan service decreases dramatically. And I think if that happens in the anime, we could have a pretty decent horror anime on our hands. But as it stands, I can't really recommend it for fans of either genre because if you just want to watch it for enjoyment and vice versa, if you want the horror, the fan service is going to get in the way. So I'm going to give it maybe two more episodes and see which way it goes. Oh, Groovy, you said you've read the manga, so it does
Yeah.
get, yeah, it does do that where it lessens the fan service eventually.
Uh, in terms of the main character, by a lot actually. Uh, the the um the supporting best friend, it lessens a bit, a little bit more than I would say a bit actually, but not a whole lot, because
Mm-hmm.
she's still seen as like the aloof, big-breasted best friend.
Mm-hmm.
But it definitely starts to focus on narratives, focus around the MC. She's there's which I kind of wanted to drop the manga when I was first reading it,
Mm.
because like I love horror stuff. Anything horror is just up my alley. And I saw this, I saw the cover and some art, so I decided to give it a try. But then I was like, why is there so much fan service in my face? Please stop.
Yeah.
Like, I get it, but I'm not here for horny. I'm here for horror.
No, I'm right
And
there with you. Is the horror anime are relatively rare, and so I want this to succeed as a horror story.
the stories in the manga that they're going to animate are going. I'm honestly kind of hyped for it, which is why I've been stories, uh, and the other characters involved in them. It's gonna get good.
Good to know. Thank you.
All right. So, give me one moment. I think we're having some streaming errors or something because you guys were breaking up, and now I'm getting a thing from YouTube saying that it's unable to maintain a smooth streaming thing.
Hmm. Yeah.
I'm trying to see what I can do real quick to fix this. Trying to see if I have anything running in the background. That's bad, but I don't see anything. Oh well, we'll continue on. Do you guys want to cover the Maho Tensei, or should we skip past that one?
I think we could safely skip because it's pretty much picking up exactly where it left off, and if you like the first season, you're probably going to like the second one.
All right.
Agreed.
Let's go to the next one then on their list, which I'm actually kind of surprised with Jessica watching this. Because I always thought it was a etchy thingy. Moo Love Alternative.
It kind of is, but the thing is, I watched Love Alternative. I think this is the third Love series I have watched. And I'm there for the murder, not all of the other stuff. How many years ago was it? Sean watched it too, where it was Love set in.
Like 4 years ago or something.
Yeah,
I
and
kind of remember it.
yeah, it was really good, really good. And the thing about Love is that even though the character designs are definitely curvaceous and supposed to be, you know, all of that kind of stuff, the stories are pretty good. Underlying all of the TNA, I guess. And I say I'm there for the murder is that no character is safe, and a lot of the cast will die very, very gruesome deaths by the time the series is over. So that's kind of what I'm there for. I love just, gore and all of that stuff. If it's schlocky, let me put it that way. If it's schlocky gore, then yeah, I'm there for it. So that's why I'm watching Love this season.
What makes it alternative? Can you explain the franchise a little bit to me?
Oh heavens, no! The franchise started off with visual, continuities and alternate timelines and
Wait,
just.
wait.
Oh, what?
I just got a message saying that there's no data.
Uh,
No.
That the connect. Oh no, it keeps on going from excellent connection to this weird thing saying we have no connection.
Hmm.
Maybe you should
So-
chill and restart.
So,
Yeah.
people watching, thank you. I'm gonna reset real quick, and we'll continue with the part 2. And hopefully you continue watching with us. I'm gonna end the stream, and we'll just continue